They call me Squirrel.
What's going on, Squirrel Squad, over here on the Look Squirrel YouTube channel? I'm pretty sure Mick T sent me this. If it wasn't Mick T, raise your paw and tell me it was you. I think Mick sent this over. This is one European record, 2 world records, 1 world first. This is ultra low carbon organic fertilizer only the UK can mine. Britain's new super mine, constructing the deepest mine in Europe, 2023. Yeah, I'm in. I got to see this. I got to see what this organic fertilizer is too. I'm almost as interested in what kind of organic fertilizer they're pulling out of the ground as I am the size of this damn mine. This guy seems awfully. I mean, there's obviously a lot of breathing room. It's well lit. Lots of standing room in that mine. Pretty amazing for a mine. Look at this guy. He's got all the room in the world. He's not superimposed on this picture anyway. I suppose I should show you. It's this guy. This guy I'm talking about right here. Yeah, that's the guy. There we go.
The Woodsmith Polyhalite Mine, Britain's first large-scale mine in decades, by Anglo-American. This high-tech supermine...
Honky America? Is that the... Anglo-America. That's the company. Huh. Of course.
Mine, once completed, will be the largest and highest-grade polyhalite mine in the world. That's because a polyhalite seam with such high purity and in a location that allows processing and shipping to be viable has
I know what that stuff is. This is what we're talking about, the little white beads? I know what that
only
is.
been discovered in the UK. A rare commodity that only Britain possesses, and thanks to this mine, could see that £100 billion flows into the UK economy over the next 50 years. Before we get into the mine, it's important to first briefly talk about what polyhalite is, because it's the new kid on the block in the fertilizer world.
I just want to point out before we get too deep in this, I thought this was a man-made gimmick. I know the stuff that they're talking about. I thought it was man-made. I had no idea this was mined. Wow.
Polyhalite is a type of potash which some experts claim to be the Rolls-Royce of potash. Potash is a potassium-rich salt-based mineral which is commonly used as fertilizer all over the world. The unique advantage of polyhalite over other common forms of potash is that it contains 4 out of the 6 key essential nutrients that all plant life needs to grow. These key nutrients are potassium, magnesium, calcium and sulfur. Under the brand name Poly 4, Anglo-American will be looking to market it as a multi-nutrient, low-chloride, ultra-low-carbon fertilizer, certified for organic use that can increase crop yields as well as improve and protect soil conditions. When compared to the 2 most commonly used potassium fertilizers, Poly 4 produces 93% less CO2 than sulfate of potash and 85% less than muriate of potash. I will provide links in the description for those who would like to learn more about Poly 4, as it's too big a topic for me to cover fully in this video. Located in, or should I say under, the North York Moors National Park in Yorkshire, England, 2 miles south of the town Whitby. Here is where they found a potential resource of 2.69 billion tonnes of polyhalite,
It's on this Scarborough.
which would give the mine a lifespan of around 100 years and an identified reserve of 290 million tonnes, which gives the mine a lifespan of over 30 years. Originally deposited around 260 million years ago when an ancient sea dried up, the polyhalite
260 million years ago, when an ancient sea dried up. I mean, when's the last time a sea dried up? What the
light was actually discovered by accident. The polyhalite was first discovered back in the 1930s by oil prospectors who were drilling for oil. Only decades later was it realised to be a valuable mineral, thanks to 2 geologists whom which the mine was fittingly named after.
Why is it called the Woodsmith Mine?
Well, after the 2 of us.
Yeah. It overlaps in the middle.
Woods Smith.
Polyhalite had been found in an oil well, but everybody regarded it just as a mineralogical curiosity. And it wasn't until somebody did some experiments creating a fertilizer with it that people realized, gosh, this is really something. But then the news comes up, look what we found. In some places we found it was 80 meters thick.
Somebody figured it out because they were like, "Hey, let's dig a mine right here." Back when they were doing the oil drilling, and someone's like, "Why the hell are all the plants growing so damn good around here? Jeez, maybe we should figure that out first." Well, let's start digging the mine, and we'll work on that later. Whoa, wait a minute.
To find it in the sort of quantity that we have here is absolutely unique. There isn't anything like it anywhere in the world. This is the marvel about it. Not only that this thing exists, this colossal deposit,
Wow.
but by extraordinary chance, it comes ashore in North Yorkshire, and right at Whitby, it's at the depth where you can mine it.
That's how it began.
The mine is set to go into production in 2027, and throughout construction will create over 2,000 jobs for the local area.
Good.
The mine near Whitby will be accessed via 2 main shafts. Each of these shafts will be 1.5 kilometres deep. That's almost 1 mile deep, which will make it the deepest mine in Europe. Due to its location, a much treasured national park, strict criteria were set in place in order for the mine to be built. In order to not disturb the protected area of natural beauty, the mine had to be designed with minimal impact. In fact, unless you have a helicopter, you would never even know it was there. And even then, it would just look like any other farm buildings. The mine has been designed to be completely invisible to passers-by.
Ooh, sneaky, sneaky. I like what you did there with the building. Yeah, see that? You covered the hole.
They even built a curve into the access road so anyone driving by would only see woodland. When construction
They put a curve in so nobody would know it was there, and they covered it in buildings. We're trying to keep this so nobody knows until this prick comes along and makes a YouTube video. Damn it.
a deep mine, you would typically have large winding towers at the surface, which would be used for lowering and lifting people, machinery, and material. But being located in a national park, Woodsmith's giant winding towers, also known as headframes, will be hidden in 60-metre deep chambers to minimise visual impact, a world first in mining. These chambers will be constructed using an engineering method called diaphragm walling. Once finished, the first 60 metres was excavated to house the 45-metre tall winding towers and other infrastructure.
Oh, so they're putting the towers and everything that does all the lifting below the surface. This is, I mean, it's pretty smart. Sneaky.
The main mine shafts will then be mechanically sunk using an innovative third-generation machine called a shaft boring road header, a design inspired by tunnel boring machines.
Of course.
The SBR is faster and safer than traditional drill and blasting methods. Since being lowered into the foreshaft, the SBR has now begun its 1-mile journey down to the polyhalite. Rotating in a star pattern, the cutting head can cut 200 millimeters deep with each pass. Every 5 of these cycles, the shaft becomes 1 meter deeper. Material is then sucked back up the shaft and into skips, which are then hoisted to the surface for either reuse or clearance. As it descends, depending on the rock formation,
Cool.
the SBR will line the shaft with either steel or concrete, or both depending on the geology. To allow for faster operation, the liner deck can move independently to the cutter head below. The SBR is also equipped with 2 robotic probes which can test the ground ahead for safer excavation. It can be remotely operated from control rooms on the upper deck or from the surface, and capable of fully autonomous operation for long periods of time. All this makes for a safer and more efficient shaft sinking process.
Wow.
The mineral seam will then be mined using a combination of drill and blast and continuous mining.
So this is the kind of mining that I'm used to seeing. I've seen some videos before, you know, where the mine's only this tall and you're laying flat on a cart, and if you're claustrophobic like my big ass, you start freaking out just watching these damn videos. I don't do heights. I don't do tight surface underneath ground where you can't find your way out. And people like I saw a video of a guy and he was like shimmying. He's like, I think I can get, and then he was stuck for like 2 hours. And he finally was able to dislodge it. Why? What are you doing? What's wrong with people? What's the point? I just want to see if my fat ass could fit between these 2 rocks. What? No! Knock it off. What do you got to find down there? The last idiot who didn't make it out? I don't know. Anyways, back to this. Sorry, just get upset with these people squeezing between rocks. It's crazy. This is all nuts to me. It's all bonkers.
Mining machines, which will then feed flexible conveyor belts that will take it back to the production shaft. The ore is then hoisted up to 360 meters below the surface, where it is then transferred to the mineral transport system. The mineral transport system is truly a remarkable feat of engineering.
Of course it
Once
is.
the ore is mined, it needs to then get to the materials handling facility at the Wilton Industrial Complex at Teesside, 23 miles away. To avoid the costs, complications and pollution involved with using traditional transportation
Did they build a 23-mile conveyor belt underground? Tell me they did.
services, such as trucks and trains, a 23-mile-long concrete-lined tunnel is currently being dug between the Woodsmith mine and the materials handling facility
I was close.
at Wilton. Once completed, the underground conveyor belt system will be the longest anywhere in the world. A tunnel boring machine is used to dig the tunnel. It started its journey at the Wilton site before heading for Woodsmith. The Wilton site is also where the concrete factory is located, which will supply the TBM with the segments used to line the tunnel. Like a giant mechanical worm, the TBM, with its giant multi-rotor cutting head at the front, nibbles away at the rock, which then falls into the machine and is whisked away on a conveyor belt. Every few meters, the TBM
Jesus.
stops to install the giant concrete segments, which are continuously passed down via a locomotive running through the middle of the TBM, coming from the concrete factory on the surface. When a concrete ring is completed, a machine then grouts between the concrete lining and the rock to secure it in place. Once the lining is secure, the TBM uses hydraulic jacks to propel itself forward to continue cutting.
What?
The 23-mile-long conveyor belt system, capable of transporting the ore at a speed of 6.5 meters per second, is then installed, as well as a maintenance railway and some utilities and power cables for the mine. This all means that the ore never sees the surface until it reaches the mineral handling facility.
This is one sick-ass operation, all right? This isn't like normal mining stuff. This is crazy. You guys go 2 miles below the surface to pull up the little pebble puppers, whatever they're called. The fertilizing puppy poops. Just gonna roll with that. And then they're gonna put it on 23 miles. 23 miles of conveyor belt. What? No, what? No.
Which is then only a 4-kilometer
Hurts my
short trip
brain.
away to the port on yet another conveyor belt.
No, why not?
Once at the mineral handling facility, the ore will go through several simple processing stages where it will be turned into the final product. Arriving from its 23-mile journey, the ore will first be deposited in a storage shed. From here, an automated conveyor belt system takes the ore on a continuous production line around the facility.
Sure.
First, it is crushed to a fine powder, then graded to remove any large pieces. Then, using a natural starch, it is then granulated to a uniform size. The granules are then screened and dried before being transported to the port for shipping.
It's a starch. That's how they get it in those little tiny bloops.
Thanks to its 88.8% purity, there is very little waste and no chemicals are used in the processing of polyhalite at all.
That's good.
The final leg of the journey will be in a 4-kilometer long, fully concealed conveyor belt where it will be loaded into cargo ships at the Bran Sands port facility on the River Tees, which is the UK's northern gateway to global shipping routes. Here, Anglo-American will be able to ship up to 13 million tonnes of Poly4 to customers around the world each year. The first ore is expected to be shipped in 2027. So why are people lining up to buy polyhalite? It's estimated that the population will reach 10 billion by 2050, which means more mouths to feed. Arable land is limited, so farmers are looking at ways to increase yields from the same amount of space. They are also looking at ways to farm in a cleaner and more sustainable way.
Mind-boggling.
Agricultural universities and research institutions have studied more than 80 broad-acre crops in over 1,000 crop trials throughout 44 countries across 5 continents, and they have consistently shown that polyhalite outperforms other potassium fertilizers in both crop
I hate when they use the same file footage over and over when they're doing a video. Like, I saw that guy water those flowers earlier.
yields and quality. If you enjoyed the content in this video, it would mean a lot to me if you could like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
All right. Well, thanks for putting out a cool video full of information and all the trade secrets of these guys and letting us know that they're hidden and that they put in a special thing with the curves so nobody would know what they were, but yet you blew them out of the water. Appreciate that. Anyway, that was Tictacular is the name of the YouTube page. Only 1.28 thousand subs. We gotta I'll make sure I put a link to these guys in the description below. Make sure you check these guys out. That was a great video. Very well done. Who knows? I'll probably find some more cool stuff in here, I'm sure. But that was crazy. I mean, the depth of the shaft, the way it's being built, the way it's being drilled, the 24, 23, 24, 28, might as well be a 100-mile long conveyor belt is ridiculous. Plus another 4 kilometers out to the dock, and we're just gonna dump it into a ship. Crazy. That's just crazy. I had no idea that was a natural organic thing that was mined. I've seen this. I know what it is. I've seen it in organic plant stores. I've seen some plants come with it already mixed in the dirt. If it's the same stuff I'm thinking of, and I think it's what I'm thinking. I think it's if you're thinking that what I'm thinking is what I'm thinking of, then you're definitely thinking of the thing that I'm thinking. That I think you're thinking about the thing that I'm thinking of. So maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, that was pretty impressive. That's a crazy ass mine. Holy smokes. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you didn't know about it, I hope you learned a little something with me. That's why I do this, so I can learn a little something too. You folks be great. Take care of yourselves. I'll catch you, I don't know, soon. Scroll up.